Hi, I'm Sheilaa Hite, world-class astrologer, tarot master, medium, spellcaster, and all-around magical being. And I'm here today to talk to you about the astrological transits for the coming week. We start off this week knowing that very soon, before the end of the week, we're going to be leaving August and entering September. That's a big shift right there. Because even though it's not official, we are changing seasons, or we're certainly getting ready to. And then on Tuesday, Mercury, the planet that rules communication, and especially how we gather and process information, is going to leave its own sign of Virgo, the sign of details, and it's going to enter into the sign of Libra, the sign of balance. So, Mercury in Libra is great for many things. It likes balance, it likes peace, that's why it rules diplomacy, and it loves pretty things, which is great too. A good way to choose how you want to decorate anything is when something is in Libra, especially the Sun or Mercury. However, Mercury in Libra rules indecisiveness as well. So you have to be careful for the 3 or so weeks that Mercury is in the sign of Libra to be grounded as you make your choices, as you make your decisions, because you can spend a career being indecisive and get nowhere. And when I say career, I literally mean you can spend all day trying to decide what on a menu you want to eat and starve. Pick something that is good and eat it. So in a way, when Mercury is in Libra, pick something and deal with it. Don't spend all day weighing the pros and the cons of it. Now, that is an important thing to do when you're making a decision, but let's not do it for minutes or hours or days, because Mercury in Libra has a tendency to spend a lifetime, it feels like, making a choice. Now, the really big theme for this week seems to be about that. It really is about being conscious, Mercury, being conscious of how you use your information gathering energy. So I've got some notes here. We'll talk about that. Mars, for the first, I'd say from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the planet Mars, which is how we get things done, how we take action, is going to be Mars, here's Mars, in opposition to Neptune. Neptune is spirit, Neptune is the soul, Neptune is your communication with the higher beings, Neptune is intuition. Neptune is also illusion and deception. So, and very often that deception is self-deception. So if Mars has information and Neptune has information, if Mars listens to Neptune without first really being clear that Neptune is clear, then Mars is likely to do something that's going to cause a messy cleanup, the need for a messy cleanup. So what do we do here? How do we handle this Mars opposition Neptune? How you listen determines what you hear. It's everything this week is going to go back to Mercury. So how we gather and process information, how you hear what Neptune is saying will determine what you hear, and therefore determine how you take action. So when you feel very clearly that Neptune is saying, oh, I can see really clearly, gravity no longer applies to me, I can do whatever I want, that unfortunately that's not the way to go. Because gravity does indeed apply to you. And as long as you're on this planet, I would say there's a good chance that's going to be the case. However, how you deal with how gravity applies to you is entirely up to you and can make a big difference, whether you have a messy cleanup or whether you have whether you have great wisdom and make some great decisions. So you can either deal with illusion, and a messy cleanup, or you can be still and know you can listen to your intuition. This is a great time to listen to your intuition. Now, I did say, oh my God, Mars opposition Neptune, things can happen. Yes, they can. But Neptune is really in charge here. Most people think it's Mars, it's the action you take. No, it's not. It's the information that tells you what kind of action to take that's more important. With Neptune, it's not, oh, let's just go and do it. I feel it will be a great idea. With Neptune, it is really be still and know. Ground yourself, listen to your intuition, allow it to come up and speak to you, and then slowly and surely move towards your goal. And that way, there will be no cliffs for you to fall off of. There will be no gravity for you to run afoul of. And you will have some great magical experiences because Neptune does usher in fantastic magical things. Illusion isn't all bad. Some illusion is really great and leads us to be very entertained and really happy. It's how you deal with it. So, how you listen determines what you hear, and from there you can determine what you're going to do or how you're going to act. And then Mars, again, Mars, how we do things. It's very important. Not just that we do things. And when you have Mars opposition Neptune, when you have Mars anyway all by itself, it wants to do something. But when you have Mars opposition Neptune, you have Mars wanting to do something with whatever snippet of information it gets. No, when you have Neptune, you can't afford to go with the snippet. You need to listen. And it's how you take action, not that you've taken action. Very important. Everything does come back down to discernment, which is Mercury. And as you know, as I said earlier, Mercury is going to go into Libra. So it all comes down to that. And it comes down to a deeper level of intuitive abilities. It comes down to using those deeper levels of intuitive abilities. And now while Mercury is really leading the parade this week, and we think the key players or the key marchers in the parade are Mars opposition Neptune, we also have Mercury, how we gather and process information, trine, making a beneficial, harmonious aspect to Saturn, practical, responsible matters. So, again, how you listen determines what you hear. And from there, you can determine how you're going to act. Mercury, how I gather and process information. Saturn, in a grounded, responsible, structured way. Everything, please go about the week that way. You will have far less to regret, and you will have much to be happy about and celebrate. This week with Mercury, Saturn, Mars, and Neptune, this is a building block week. Do you want to build your building blocks, your foundational building blocks out of air? Or do you want to take the time to build out of concrete, supporting information and abilities? I think the answer is pretty clear. As we move towards the end of the week, now next week we will have on Labor Day a new moon. We will talk about that next week. However, how about preparing moon water? So this week, about Thursday or so, set a container in the windowsill. The container needs to have water in it, in the windowsill. Or if you want to, you can set a container outside your home. In either case, whether it's a cup and a windowsill or it's a huge pitcher that you set outside, please make sure you cover your moon water. Cover the cup, cover the pitcher. Why? Because critters will get in. All kinds of wonderful gifts from nature, which you really don't need in your wonderfully charged moon water. Moon water is fantastic because you bring in the energy of this most phenomenal planet that orbits us. And it's not really a planet, I know technically, but it's a body that orbits us. And it's a body that has us knowing that we can count on our intuition, has us knowing that we need to be nurtured and how, and has us being able to trust who we are and know who we are. So when you use moon water, whether you drink it, whether you pour some in your bath, whether you use some for cooking, whether you pour some into your plants, moon water is an extremely wonderful, powerful entity. And definitely make the moon water. Put it in the windowsill or outside around Thursday. Monday, we're going to have that new moon. Let it gather, and I like to wait a couple of days after, so by the following Wednesday, take it out of either the windowsill or bring it into the house if you set it outside, and begin using it. And especially since the moon will be in Virgo, so it's going to help you a lot with details. It's going to help you a lot with discernment, which is the higher level of determining what's so. Discernment also tells you how to use what's so. So having said that, I am going to say goodbye for now and have a great, great rest of August and beginning of September. Be well.